Hey everyone, today we're doing a review and first impressions of CNDesigner Dips. This is my first purchase from them, but I have been eyeing them for a very long time. So I did love the way everything was packaged. That first one that I pulled out was like a loose glitter sample. It's typical for a lot of smaller businesses to include something like that whenever you purchase, but I loved the festive little red and green sequins that were in the package. And everything was packaged well. I didn't have any issues with the shipping. It actually shipped quicker than I thought because typically I think the ship times are a little long from what I've seen on the Facebook group, but I didn't have any issues with shipping. I thought I received it in a reasonable amount of time. The first dip was Cookie, that was the gold glitter. Rustic is that shimmery brown. And then Unity is the black with red and green foils. Of course, you know I love black dip powders if you watch my channel, so of course I had to get that. Today though, we're using Cookie and Rustic. I thought that they would match really well together. For some reason, I thought the picture of Rustic was more of a burgundy maroon color, and I didn't go back to the website to check that out, but I may be remembering it wrong. But it is definitely a dark brown shimmer, more like a coffee. And Rustic applied exactly the way I like my dip powders to apply. They had applied nice and smooth. It was thin. I do not like a bulky nail. That's just personal preference. I feel like as thin as I can get it, the better. I feel like it looks more natural. I can grab things better. I can pick things up off the floor better since I have a little bit longer nails now. So I just prefer a really thin, even dip, which Rustic was perfectly thin, even. It had a gorgeous shimmer. And I don't remember if I mentioned, but these are sample sizes. That's why the jars aren't completely full. So I ordered all three in sample sizes. They were $4.50 each. There is a 10% discount code off of your first order. I forget what it is. I believe it's either Friends Get 10 or Welcome 10, but you can find it. I think it's either on their Instagram page or the Etsy shop. I will have everything linked down below for you. I'll link the Etsy shop. I'm using the Double Dip liquids, so I'll link those. I have a discount code Pixie20 for anything at the Double Dip store except the mystery boxes. So I think I am going to have a video coming up on their mystery boxes too. I'm not sure, but I might have a video for that. But with these dip powders, I really liked Rustic. It went on exactly the way I like my dip powders to go on. I thought they were reasonable as far as the sample size pricing. I believe it's typically you get 2 to 3 full manicures out of a sample size, and I am much more likely to buy from a company if they offer sample sizes. That is the size that I prefer because I don't use a lot of dip powders over and over again. So if I can buy a sample, I will buy a sample. So with this, like I said, it's a sample size. That's why the jars aren't completely full. So don't think that she shorted me or anything. That's just, it's a sample size, but they use the same 1/4 ounce jars. So I went ahead and did that first dip pouring over and then the second dip laying into it. So I'm trying to treat it exactly as I would any other dip powder just to see how it performs. Moving on to Cookie, I gave it a little stir because it looked a little clumpy. I was concerned about Cookie. I gave it a little stir in hopes that it would go on good. It did go on well. It was just a little concerning to look at, but it went on just fine. So I went ahead and poured over, and then immediately I laid the glitter down. So I just patted it with my finger and then cleaned up the cuticle area. It is a beautiful holographic glitter, and it also has these gold shards in it. So I really like a dip powder that has something unique. So that's why I got Cookie. I was drawn to it. Even though I don't typically like gold, I was drawn to it because it was holographic and it had these shards. So I went ahead and I'm going to do that second dip, and I do have to finagle it a little bit when it comes to activating, and I think I messed with it a little bit with my clear dip powder too, because I had a couple pieces that were sticking up, but that might be partly me because I'm really trying to get more into being familiar with the dip liquids again, because I had used gel for so long and I love applying dip powder with gel. But every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern time, I do a live manicure in the Double Dip group, and I don't have to use dip liquids for that, but I try to use them for 90% of the manicures I do there, just because I know a lot of people have gel allergies, so I really try to use the actual dip liquids. But I hadn't used them for so long that I'm a little out of practice whenever it comes to applying, because gels apply so thin and smooth, which is partly why I love them. But I'm really trying to get back into the actual dip liquids and getting more familiar with applying them with gels. So not gels, dip liquids and dip powders. But I went ahead and I'm going to do a clear coat. I'm using my Double Dip Clear. I have two out because there's one that I use for solid and one that I use for glitter. So I'm going to use my solid one for Rustic, and then my glitter nails, I'm going to get out my clear dip powder that is for those. And the reason I do that is because glitter contaminates everything. Glitter gets in your soul. Glitter gets everywhere. I find random glitter everywhere. So I don't want that in my dip powder whenever I put it on top of a solid and get that one speck of glitter that just annoys me. I try to keep two separate clears for that. Eventually it will become contaminated, but until then, at least they're separate. And once I do that, I really give my nails a good dusting with the stiff nail brush. And while I'm applying the clear to the glitter, you may see me hold down little pieces, and that's because while that clear dip powder is drying, I'm trying to hold down, like right there, I'm trying to hold down little pieces that are standing up to get them to lay more flat. So I'm just going to do that, and then I'm going to give everything a really good dust with the stiff nail brush and apply my activator. Now, whenever I do my activator with the glitter nails, I put a little baggie. A sample came in it, I think, at one point. But I put a little baggie on my finger, and while that activator is drying, when it's in between dry and super sticky, I really put that little baggie on my finger and roll over top of my nail to try to flatten it out as much as possible, which worked really well. After buffing and filing, we go ahead and apply our second layer of activator, and this is important because it helps your top coat dry nice and shiny. So we're going to apply that, and then I wait about a minute and wipe it off with a lint-free wipe. Go in with my first layer of top coat, couple of quick brush strokes per nail, let it dry about 30 seconds until it's starting to look matte, and go in with that second layer, capping my free ends and getting that shiny, beautiful color to show through. So I wanted to tell you a quick story. That black bag that my order came in, my cat Binks is obsessed with those bags, absolutely crazed over them. Apparently he grabbed it off the table while I was doing my nails and I didn't notice, and I found red and green sequins all over the house spread around like confetti, and I am still finding them here and there. So the joy of having animals. I do love their shenanigans most of the time, but while I'm finishing this up, I did really enjoy the dip powders. I think people love them because they have such unique dip powders compared to other companies. I was a little overhyped for it just because of how crazy everyone is for it. I thought it was going to be life-changing. They were average as far as my small dip companies go. They were no better or worse. I did really enjoy them, and I would purchase sample sizes again in the future. So let me know what you think down below. I'm applying my cuticle oil here in just a second, and while I do that, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It helps YouTube recommend it to others. If you have any questions, leave a comment below or find me on Instagram at dippingpixie. Make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on. I have new videos twice a week, usually Mondays and Thursdays. That's it for this one, guys, and I will see you in the next one.